All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Thursday, November 9th, 2023. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. We do a video every morning, and we do one in the weekend to recap the week. So we'd be glad to have you on board, part of this channel. Just make sure to hit that like button as well. Dow futures up about 100 points, 97 now. NASDAQ up 0.09%, 4410 on S&P 500 futures, with Russell up 0.73%. The dollar is down slightly, still below that 106 level. We're sub 15 on the VIX, 1435 down 0.69%. Crude taking a little bit of a bounce here, bouncing off support of around 75, according to the daily chart here. 76.15 is the current level. Gasoline futures up nearly 1%, $2.14. Gold futures, if you just remember, we were right near 2000. Now we're at 1954, down about 0.15%. Silver futures down as well to 2270. Copper futures up 0.15%. Euro dollar is down 4 pips, 107.03. 150.95 for the dollar yen. That's flat. Dollar Canadian dollar and pound dollar are also flat. Bitcoin starting to bounce. We're continuing to cook 37,560. We've talked about those Bitcoin proxies. We talked about the levels. Let's go over it one more time. All right, we're starting to get a push here. As we know, again, this is Bitcoin futures. I'll show you the spot index. Target here is 42,140. You just need to hold above 35,717. You can use 32,000 as a stop. But again, we talked about the golden cross, I think, about a week ago, a couple weeks ago. Nice move here on Bitcoin. Expect higher, 42,000 with your stop here, 35,717 moving forward. If you want a DCA like I do, that's fine. Dollar cost average over time is so much easier. I put $25 a week on it. Just let it compound over time. That's just the easiest way to do it. So you average a good price. I do that also for Ethereum. Some people are different. Some people put a lot in. Some people put a little bit in. But again, I think over time, just build it is the easiest way to go. You can always tweak that here and there. As I put more focus really into the options trading this year, I've been really trying to get that performance higher for you guys, so you can use that money that you make from options, and you could buy stock or you could buy Bitcoin or whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. But 42,000 again, guys, that would be right around that April 2022 level. We're at the highest point in Bitcoin since May of 2022. So good for Bitcoin. Let's see if that continues. So it helps my Mara position as we do have calls. They did report earnings. They did beat. We need to get above 960 ASAP with above 1020 since we have the $10 calls. So let's see if we can snag that today. Maybe Bitcoin gives us a little bit more, some juice, and then we can catch that today. Palantir I also have as well. Again, pretty much just staying above that support around 1816. I have the 1950 calls for tomorrow expiring. 1919 is the break point. That's what we're looking for. 1917 was the recent high on Tuesday. Yesterday was just ugly chop, but at least we're getting some bids this morning as Palantir is on the rise. Apple I filled, as we talked about yesterday, broke my alert. So I filled for next week, the 185s. That is our target. We're still above the 100-day. We're above that Fibonacci level of 182.34. That's all we need to do. You can see this is the previous resistance here from October. We broke the October highs. Now we're gunning for the area of around the September highs, around 190. So we know our trading path, our journey, if you will, as we continue forward. So that's what we're looking at this morning. Good. What's up? Good morning, Clifton. Good morning, Ryan. Avgo, let's go and take a look at it. We had some headlines this morning. We have a lot of Fed speakers, but other than that, not much. I mean, it was pretty much choppy. Look at Broadcom looking great. Again, looks like we're just going to get a consolidation period here. Looks like we have a continuation. You're above every major moving average. Looking good. Above 925.91. That's the recent high. Yeah, what is that? All-time highs? Yep. Pretty similar to Microsoft, near all-time highs. I mean, if you want to buy it here, I mean, I don't know much about Broadcom, but in terms of semiconductors, I still think AMD and NVIDIA are the best game in town. We talked about the semiconductor ETF this year, top 10 stocks 2023. If you want to take a look at that recap, it was from July. That was the SMH. I believe Broadcom is in that. So looking great all around. I don't know what to say, but it looks pretty good. I don't know about calls. I don't know if they have a lot of volume on options. Let's go to Meta. Meta calls. Nice recovery. Still need above 330.60. 330.60. That's what we're looking for. Once we break that, we could target 353.83. But I want to break above this October high. We're just not there yet, so we just have to wait. I am long SMH 124. I assume that's your expiry for January, and I don't know I don't know what exactly your expiry is or your actual strike. So we could just do this. I draw a couple lines, right? Make life easy. See if right there sounds about right. Yep, breaking out here on SMH. What can we say? Semiconductors are the new oil for the new new century. Everything runs really with semiconductors and those chips, autonomous driving, computing, cloud computing, you name it. I'm not exactly the biggest tech savvy person, but I do see innovation when I see it. I do know innovation when I see it. So look at AMD. AMD breaking out. We've played that this week. Get me to above 116. We could start talking about getting on AMD again to 122.48. NVIDIA, did we miss that 400 level to buy? Probably. But again, it hasn't broken out yet either. Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback and we get around 440 or something. But I mean, we've been saying NVIDIA long since the beginning of the year, so it's not like we haven't missed anything. I'm an old shareholder of NVIDIA back since 2018, back when I was in Brickell, in the Brickell office, we talked about it. But a nice breakout here on NVIDIA too. Let's take a look at MU. MU looking to break out. Guys, it looks like we're just going to go higher. The question is now, since we've had such a streak in terms of the S&P, I think like 8 sessions in a row, you got to get a pullback somehow, but we're not there yet. But it's looking good. It's looking real good all around. S&P 500, we still need to get above here, 44.26. Let's get to that 100-day moving average around 44.31. If we can break that, then you got some room here to 44.88. I think the level where everyone's going to start getting really excited about stocks again, the Santa rally, people are going to talk about the seasonality that we've been talking about for a while, where you start really, how's this? The level I think more people will watch these videos, look at our Instagram, look at our TikToks because they're interested again in stocks. Again, complete human nature. When stocks go down, no one cares. When stocks go up, everyone cares. It's not an indictment on anybody. It's just the fact that that's how human beings are. We get excited on certain things. Kind of like when your sports team wins, that's when you want to go to the games. When they're 1-10, you're not going to go to the games, even though you're a fan. Same thing with the stock market. 4,500. If you break that, that breaks that trend line. I think that's when everyone starts kind of getting back, interested in the market again. In my opinion, 2023 has been just kind of that rocky up and down with news. You get some people that are a little afraid. You have high interest rates, so again, it pays more to be a saver. Completely agree there. Everyone's different, but again, keep that in the back of your mind. 4,500, I think, will be a level where your neighbors, your buddies, your family will start asking about stocks again. Above 40,000, people will start asking you about crypto again, about Bitcoin. That's that Thanksgiving dinner table conversations that I'm sure everyone here on this channel has had with their family about Bitcoin since they asked them, probably back in 2017, 2018, if anyone is an OG that remembers trading with us back then. I think I remember like every other question was about Bitcoin. And then when the prices fell, no one cared anymore. So again, human behavior pretty much is repetitive. 44.30, again, 100-day moving average. We're going to wait for that level to break. I am long futures on NASDAQ. Excuse me. So 44.30, if that clears, that would be a really, really great sign. Again, we know the seasonality. We've talked about it. Let's wait. Let's take a look at it rather quickly to remind everybody. I bought the dip a while ago up to 250. Nice. Very nice. SPY buy signal to 440. Yeah, there was actually some really big buying calls, the 440 SPY calls for like December 18th or so. It was just expensive, so I didn't even want to even go there. For that, you just buy S&P futures and let that ride, in my opinion, better than SPY. Let me get you the seasonality chart again. I know I talk about it often, but again, it's been working for us. What can I say? November, again, rockier, but it's the 9th of November and it's been a green day almost every day. So again, you could see right towards the tail end of November, we may just get a little bit of a dip. Be prepared for a little bit of a dip. You're not going to go straight up right now. You're just not. And if we do, fine. I don't mind being wrong there. But December is when we start cooking based on the seasonality. Again, this is the 59-year range since 1950 to 2009. This is what is showing the average. This is a pre-election year. So again, take a look at that. This is the same exact analog as the 1999 dot-com boom. I don't know if that's the same thing here. I doubt it, but rates are higher. I mean, than then. So we'll see what as we had before too. We had a rates higher then. It wasn't zero interest rates from the Fed or anything. So we might get that Santa rally. Looks like people are trying to position themselves in. I think we could just take it week by week, see if we get an opportunity on a pullback. Maybe we can get to 43.70. Maybe retest that 50-day, that trend line. We get to here, we kind of pull back. Let's see. I mean, it does look like the bottom is in, at least for now, right at that 41.50, that 50% retrace. But again, anything could change with news. If the Fed raises rates, then we're having a different conversation. So again, step by step, day by day. Would I touch Disney after earnings? Let's see it. Disney is trading at 88 now. Really what I was looking for, I didn't put the alert, is right around 91. Because if you crack that, you're above, well, actually you need to be above the 200-day. So I need to move this. Right here's what I'm looking for. If we can get above 92, you could dip your toe into some Disney for a swing up to 99 and possibly to 107. I didn't read the earnings on Disney. I just saw the results and it was positive. I don't know what they're going to do with ESPN. Who knows if there's even talk about a merger. It just gets that feeling. Again, it's based on pure feeling that, yes, obviously when the bottom being in stocks, at least short term that we're looking at, Disney should improve. The problem is that the chart is absolutely awful. It's hard to justify when you're below these major moving averages. If you're above the 200-day and you recapture that, yeah, then you can have a little more of that discussion. But here, again, this could be reversed. This could be just a continuing falling knife. Again, we got to see exactly how far this rabbit hole goes in terms of Disney. But hey, if you want to dip your toe here, that ain't a bad place to do it. It's just a little expensive in terms of price to earnings. Now, let me see exactly if the earnings have changed the PE ratios for at least Disney. Let's see here. Let's see, forward PE on Disney. Yeah, it's trading at a 16, which is actually cheaper than Netflix, cheaper than Meta, cheaper than Google. Let's see, right at the same kind of cost as T-Mobile in terms of communication services sector. But if you're taking a look at the price to earnings now, it's at 71. And that's expensive. Google's cheaper, Meta's cheaper, Netflix is cheaper. So the question really remains, do you believe in their forecasting? If you do, Disney's cheap. If you don't, Disney's very expensive and you're still shorting. So what do we need to do? We need to see if Disney can sustain above the 200-day. And then we can have to start making decisions on, hey, can Disney turn this around and generate more income or at least cut back expenses to bring up the price to earnings ratio a little higher? It's a little rich at 77. Disney's not a growth stock, guys. 77 for NVIDIA, we're running to buy every single share we can. Disney at 77 is a problem. Disney's not a growth stock. So again, two different things. Let's see, coin. Starting to get a boost here on Mara, baby. Mara just chopped this up yesterday, which sucks. Coin is breaking out too. I played this with Masterclass, I want to say last week. It is breaking out. We need to get above 90. We did. Let's see if at the 100 level for coin has some, excuse me, some volume for next week. But again, I already have Mara, so I don't want to double dip. But again, coin does look good. You're going to be at 92 now. Right around the 100 level, that's where I would take a look for some calls this morning and see if we can snag something. But I'd rather get Mara first. I got some risk on the board. Did I talk about Apple already? I did, but I'll go ahead and talk about it again. I do have Apple calls. As you guys know, the 185s for next week, bought some time. Call me crazy. I said this on the masterclass. I think we get everything today. Again, you're above the 100-day. You're above that 786 fib. We're looking for 185. This is part of the path to 190. So we're going to talk about Apple for a while now. until we get to that gap fill of 190. Again, break 185 first. We could do the 187.50s in the future, or hold the 185 runners, or we can position ourselves for the 190s. Again, we have a lot of flexibility here on Apple because we do have time. So we'll see what we get as the day unfolds. Good morning. From this point, what is your Bitcoin price target for 2024? Anel, what's up? Good to talk to you. Anel is one of our OG students. She's just enjoying life, not in front of the screen all day. She's one of the smart ones. She's a buy and hold gal. Let's take a look at Bitcoin together. You can see here, this is Koifin. The only one I can actually use as a charting system, since TOS does not have Bitcoin spot, unfortunately. So let's go to take a look at a 1 year period. Again, breakout 3 year period. You could see we had that line drawn right around 32. Again, we talked about that stop. What would be the next target? I think we could still get above 41,000 or so. If we're taking a look at what the next 12 months, again, it really depends on the Fed policy, because if the Fed does raise, Bitcoin is going to reverse. It's based on the dollar. And again, Bitcoin going up relative to the dollar, always, right? That's kind of how we're looking at it. If we can get back to March 2022, that's what we're looking for, at least for the next rolling 2024. Yeah, 48,000 by next year, 2024. Let's say by election day, 45 to 48. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't foresee the Fed raising rates in an election year. That rarely happens. I think the last time was 04. It's very political, as we know. So raising rates during the election season, I mean, yeah, I guess if you don't want to keep your seat, you could do that. So 48, that would be my target for next year. Again, we'll talk about that as we preview the year for 2024. That would be at the end of the year. Always fun. I'm going to get some data points so we can talk about our signals. I'll preview the year in terms of what we expect, at least on a macro, and also some of the stocks that we're watching, top 10. Everyone loves those. The end of the year is always a busy time, but that would be the target for me. By 2024 end, 48,000. By the beginning, let's say Q1, and now we'll say 40,000, 41,000 is what I'm looking for. Let's take a look at SHOP. Yeah, high beta's moving higher. I mean, stop me if you heard this one before. What we're looking for here is this level here, 64.85. That's what we're looking for, the break. But I want to make sure, real quick, how have we done with SHOP? Because I want to make sure, if we didn't do well on SHOP in terms of the stock, I'm not signaling it. I want to stick to the ones that we do well with. Did we trade SHOP? Okay, we're 1 for 1 in SHOP. All right, fine. SHOP is on the board. We could do that. I just wanted to make sure. I don't want to go for a stock that we're like 0 for 3 on. Okay, 64.85, that's my break point. We'll take a look at possibly the 68s or the 70s as our next zone. So that's what I'm looking for now in terms of SHOP. In terms of long-term shareholder, SHOP, let's take a look at it, the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yep. You should have a gap to fill here at 84.31. I think that's the gap fill. Let's make sure. Yep, there's your gap fill right there, 84.31. Break above 64.80. Actually, above 70, 84.31 is your next target. So Shopify has been doing very well, actually. So, but again, it's all high betas lumped together, guys. This is the ETF world we live in. Mara is moving. Let's see if we can snag that this morning with a nice pop. Let's make it a great Thursday, guys. And I will see you tomorrow for the next morning note. Cheers.